Season 1 is over. Season 2 is here. Welcome to the second season of the Crows 4P Challenge. This one, well, can they go back to back? Like they did in 1997 and 98. Those will turn injuries. Well, let's look at the new Crows recruits. They brought in Calamachi. They brought in a player from Port, Miles Bergman. And I gave poor Chase Jones a return. The Sire Wangani Malira. Jack Payne. New draftees Mitch Marsh and Archie Ludwig. They got a rookie draftee in Finbar Maley. And another prize recruit. Geelong legend Dre Bennett. I'm just gonna have a check to see how many which the clubs are where these farmer Crows are at now. Lockie Murphy. Let's go to all players. Lockie Murphy. Where is he now? Well, still waiting for a club. In real life, he signed for Port Noarlunga. Brody Smith's gone to Seaton. Chris Burgess. Where is he now? Well, he's retired. He's basically now playing for Pasqueville in the York Peninsula Football League. The new homes of some of the farmer Crows. Well, Braden Cook's now at the Kangaroos. So too is Lockie Scholl, part of our SANFL Premiership winning side. Chase Jones. Well, Chase Jones is now at Port Adelaide. He's done a reverse, Miles Bergman. He's left the Crows to join the Power. Well, the Saints have now got Jordan Bartz. Charlie Edwards. I reckon he'll actually live up to his potential over at St Kilda. Oscar Ryan. And I've also brought Zach Taylor to the Saints. They'll actually get more game time at St Kilda. Harry Schoenberg's now at the West Coast Eagles. Those were some of the players we basically got rid of during this back in that first season. Let's check the contractual situation. There's currently 27 still under contract. There's only 27 under contract. There's a few that have been unsigned. Let's give Maley a contract. Finbar Maley's got a new contract. 1 more year at the Crows. I reckon Hugh Bond will re-sign. Well, sure. Hopefully Mitch Hedge will be able to re-sign. As we might need it for a future season. He'll be staying till he wants more money. We may not need him in the future because we've already got Wayne Deneen Malera. Sam Berry's also re-signed. So too was Broadwood. So too was Michael Annie. We'll give 2 more years to Tyler Welsh. See if he can be able to progress. Rest through. There's only 5 players whose contracts are currently expiring. Luke Pedler, Tex Walker, Rory Laird, Billy Dowling, and James Bollis. Let me know in the comment section, who do you think I should re-sign? I'm kind of leaning towards Pedler, who I could use as a potential trade piece to get some picks, and maybe Dowling. I mean, we've already won. Let's see the Adelaide Crows can be able to go back-to-back in both leagues. In the SANFL, I think we're going with it for another. We're about to have another go at an undefeated season. As we come so close to going undefeated. As last season we were so close to going undefeated. However, Port fans got the last laugh because we did not complete the undefeated season. As instead we ended up losing games. So I remember in real life, Madgden's now was off to Richmond to become the Tigers reserves coach, as he was doing a reverse sack Domenico. Nat Atkinson signed on for 2027. Adam Diallo signed on, so was Jackson Haitley. As we'll need to get some more recruits for our reserve team. For the SANFL team, I'm probably thinking maybe get Matt Allen, as he's leaving Glenelg. He might be leaving Glenelg to join the Crows reserves. And I've decided it's time to sign Boyd Woodcock to the Adelaide Crows reserves for season 2027. Anyways, to start the 2026 preseason, we are versing the West Coast Eagles in Perth. I don't think Tex will be playing much this season mainly because of his age. I'll probably place the Lego over Barry. Where does Bergman come in? Where does Bergman fit in? Maybe I might drop Laird to make way for Miles. Make way for the former power player. Isaac Cumming. Might bring him in expense for Hinge. I'd probably put Neil Bullen on the bench. See, it's because of his age. Oh, the reigning premiers get off to a great start. I might bring Reapstra to the Crows reserves. Sadly, I can't bring back Cameron Strawn to the Crows reserves. Although he went back there in real life. And I might recruit Oliver Eastland to back up ruck depth in the SANFL. I might bring in Matt. Probably might bring in Cooper Murley. He was once coached by Zach Domenico at Collingwood. Back when he was the BFL coach. Who else do I bring to the reserves? Well, I decided to bring Sid Draper's brother to the Crows. But to play for the reserves team, Arlo Draper. Well, with Sid Draper now set to become a good player for the Crows, I've decided to bring his older brother Arlo Draper to the team. I think he was a Crow supporter growing up before he got drafted by Collingwood in 2020. He was originally our plan A for a second round draft pick, but we did well with Jake Saligo. Who else do I bring? I might bring Nick Shipley into the team. He did get coached by Crows coach Zach Domenico his time back when he was at the Giants. We'll bring in Boyle. And I reckon bring back Tahana. If not, probably go Coleman. Maybe bring Tahana back for one more run. Now we got the. Now I think the recruiting period is closed. It's kind of pretty much a clean bill of health except for Walker and Bennett being injured. Probably bring back Pedler for a bit of squad depth. Probably haven't come off the bench. Look at that, we also brought in Callum Coleman-Jones. Got Allen coming in to wear 41. 42 will go to Coleman-Jones. $43 to Hakely. We'll give 45 to Diaola. $47 to Garthwaite. Atkinson to wear 46. Oops. Shipley will have the 57 Guernsey for the Crows. 58 to Woodcock. 59 will go to Eastland. Reapstrew to wear 60. I reckon Draper's brother to wear 61. And 62 for 62 to Murley. Let's check to see where Lockie Murphy is in this season. Well, he went to Southport in to play in the VFL. I decided to bring Harrison Wake back to the Crows just for the SNFL side. coming in from North Adelaide. Got 70 players under contract. And would you look at that? The Crows get their premiership defence. Off to a great start. What a start to their back-to-back premiership run. We're making a lot of money now because, well, we just had that premiership. We can be able to afford 5-star travel. I think we're basically financially better off since we got that premiership. Wanganeen Malira's playing midfield, so we'll put Hinge in defence. Well, that didn't work. We lost to Collingwood. Not a good way to start our premiership defence. Oh no, Louis Butler's out injured. Oh no, Captain Dawson's out too. Yikes. I guess we'll make Greenwood captain then, I reckon. I reckon we'll probably have to, it'll be the return of Captain Greenwood. I think we got too many tall defenders. We decided to give Jack Payne a run. Oh no, Louis Butler's out of the side for the SNFL. Yikes. We'll play Bianco in the SNFL side. For this game. We'll probably bring in... Who's the new captain? Who will I make as the new SNFL captain? I'm probably thinking Trent Bianco to captain the SNFL team now. We'll probably play Tyler... We'll probably play Mitch Marsh in the SNFL. We'll have to put McAndrew in the ruck. Maley to play backup ruck. Well, the Adelaide Crows kickstart their premiership defence. Their SNFL premiership defence with a huge win over South. Well, the AFL boys won by 100 by the same margin against Carlton. What a performance from Captain Greenwood. And Curtin, also Wanganeen Malira played great in this game. Oh no, Captain Greenwood's out injured, so I'll have to make myself captain for this game. We got Peatling back at the side for the game against South Adelaide for the game against the Giants. So I decided to give Jake Saligo his comeback through the SANFL to get some match fitness. Another big win for the Crows reserves. It's not looking good. We lost to GWS. We're in 7th to kickstart our premiership defence. Yikes. Oh no. We've been starting out injuries now. Got no Worrell. So we might have to play Hinge. No Wangani Malera. I guess we'll have to do with probably Saligo. No Neil Bullen. Guess maybe we'll give Tyler Welsh a run. No Wangani Malera means we might play Bergman across the wing. Probably play Dowling. Crows win by 77 points against Sydney. And after all of it, got Barry. That was a great game you had, Riley. 44 touches and 4 goals. I reckon you'll be on your way to become the Eagles' next Ralph Sewer. Or even their next Malcolm Blight. We'll rotate between Marsh and Ludwig for the SANFL. Coleman Jones coming in for the game against West East. Crows reserves win by 32 points against the Bloods. Well, finally we went away from home. We beat Richmond. That was a great win for the Eagles against the Bulldogs. Next game, I think the next game might be against Nord. At home. Eventually, I could possibly look at doing some rugby league rebuilds eventually, possibly rebuilding the Parramatta Eels. That's a good game, Glenelg in round 2. I may have to drop Hinge for probably Worrell. Welsh has been dropped to make way for Greenwood. That would be so cool. Oh, no. Also, I got Neil Bullen coming in for Dowling. Bada bing! We beat the Western Bulldogs. Next up, we're versing North Adelaide. Got Louis Butler's coming in for his SANFL debut. Dowling comes in for Haitley. I should say Hatley. All Ace comes in for Garthwaite. Hedge comes in for Madgden. Laird comes in for Carmen. Look at that, the Crows Reserves won by 104 points against the Roosters. That's going to be a great start. I reckon with yourself playing midfield in this game, I reckon it could be looking like the new Malcolm Blight. Next game, we got Essendon at home. Well, guess who's back? Curtin and Wanganeen Malera. Well, sorry, Payne, but you're going to have to get dropped. I'm dropping you for Nasiah. Definitely, I reckon that'd be a good plan. Just like what would have happened if one Woodville player in the '80s, if there was a Woodville player in the '80s playing 150 games for the Warriors and gone to the Port Magpies and gone back to Woodville, West Torrens ready for the merger. Got Curtin coming into the side for the Crows. I might put Neil Bullen as to be a substitute. I might throw Curtin in the forward line for the game against the Bombers. Pedler comes into the forward line, to the reserves forward line. I think Miller is one of the emergencies for the AFL. Welsh comes in. Well, we were losing all game against Essendon. We got it done! But the bad news is Mark Keane's injured. However, we win by 71 against Nod. And Tex is out with an injury as well. Same with Garthwaite. Next round in the SANFL, we're versing Central District. And in the AFL, we're versing the Saints. Well, do you remember Charlie Edwards? Oscar Ryan? Jordan Butts and Zach Taylor. Well, we're actually versing them for the first time. And in return, we have got Wanganeen Malira now becoming a Crow. Anyways, let's look at the SANFL side now. I'll put Welsh in. Probably a Miller back in the side. And the Crows Reserves win by 84 points over Central District. Well, Carla Potter's now playing for Centrals in this season. And he's an ex-Woodville West Torrens player. And he's actually betrayed Ed to join our arch rivals. And Wanganeen Malira gets the win over his former team, St Kilda. Did any of our former players play in that game? Well, Charlie Edwards certainly did. So did Oscar Ryan. Jordan Butts had an okayish game for St Kilda. But I don't see Zach Taylor. I think the Saints have frozen him out. Jeez, the Saints have frozen him out of the side. We're in the top two now. However, for the game against Melbourne, I decided to give Wayne Malira a chance to come back in the AFL. We're still waiting for the return of Dawson. That's a good matchup for round two versus the Nord Redlegs. Greenwood's captaining the team once again. The Crows. Let's see how we go fair at the G against Melbourne. 85-point win for the boys. Well, the midfield trio of Matt Greenwood and Dre Bennett. They have been midfield duo of Matt Greenwood and Dre Bennett. They're already picking up the pace. Oh no, there has been some bad news in this this Crows side. We're going to have to find a replacement forward. Oh no. The main man of this forward line, Lachlan Brown. Oh no, out with an ACL. This game against Melbourne. And he's retiring. That's a standing ACL in. Let's hope we can. Hopefully, we'll have to find a replacement, and that'll be a good sign for the Eagles winning if they can win the first two games. Well, at least the experience Merriman and myself and Bray on the same team has worked out well. Has worked out well before it all ended with my injury. We'll have to find maybe we'll have to either find a new forward in the trade period, or we might trust Dan Curtin for that spot. That's a great number, number 6. Tony Modrell is one of those famous crows who wore number 6 back in the day. He won the league in goal kicking in 1993 and 1997 for the Crows. Definitely off to a great start so far. I reckon it will continue. Nets go to the mid-season draft. We actually got a list spot available. Man, I think our reserve team is getting raided. All because, well, we're just too good. Who do we pick up with our next pick? We might go Trent Bianco. That was a great start. And that's what number we give Bianco. Anyways, for Bianco's number, he'll be wearing 33. We'll reassign Bianco's number to 33. I reckon we'll give Lou Butler the number 60 Guernsey. We lost Diaola. We lost Louis Butler. And I think we lost Reepstra. Oh, he's out of it. He's gone from Adelaide. Well, it's time to put Curtin in the forward line. They certainly are not have been playing under pressure. Speaking of under pressure, well, that was a big hit by David Bowie and Queen back in the 80s. Oh, we say goodbye to Lachlan Brown's career. Yep, Nord have responded in this game. And for the bagpipe song, well, that was just my retirement announcement. However, we win by 88 points against Sturt. How will we go against the Swans? We have a 16-point win ourselves against Sydney. Once again, we're versing Hawthorn and Tassie. Anyways, let's simulate the boring stuff. They certainly are. They're playing very good footy. Simulate our way throughout the season to see how our team will fare at the end of 2026. The AFL side have won 20 games. Well, they've done it. The Crows reserves have finished the whole entire season without a loss. So he goes back in for the game against Geelong. That's a great start for the Eagles, 3 out of the first 4 goals. Rankin comes in. The Cats lose by 85 points against the Crows at the Cattery. The side when getting Malera gets a win at the Cattery, finally. The Crows will complete the AFL season with another finals appearance. Kane's back. Might play Payne for this one over Malera. The Crows are through to another preliminary final. The Canada reserves. Well, the Power reserves get their revenge. And, well, they are the ones who are deciding the Crows' undefeated fate. Coleman Jones comes in, so does Maley. Why don't she play Greenie in this SANFL game? And the reserves are in the grand final. I'll give Michael Annie an AFL call-up for this one. That's a great win for the Eagles. They're winning so far. Well, we lost the SANFL Grand Final this year because we had a few out. Might play Maley for the SANFL for the prelim final against North Melbourne. Might start Greenwood a half forward. But hang on a minute, we might actually trust Broadwood to play in the ruck. That's a great start. I'll put Michael Annie in for into the side. It's looking like a shootout. But unfortunately, well, in this Dynasty challenge, well, we look like Richmond of 2018. Here, lost the prelim final against North Melbourne. That's the Roos. The Roos have got their revenge for 1998. Well, we'll let them have this one. We'll get it. We'll reclaim the cup in 2027. That's a great lead so far. As unfortunately, injuries and retirements have kind of ruined our season. Another goal for the Eagles. We're up by 21. But bad news in this one. Well, Brisbane have reclaimed the premiership. I was hoping North Melbourne would win this one. I was hoping North Melbourne would win it. It would have been a great underdog story. But kudos to kudos to North Melbourne. You've had a great season. Getting over the line against us in the prelim. But at least we do have at least a minor premiership counts. It's a bit of a quieter year in the All-Australian front compared to 2025. Player transfers, well, my time playing's officially over. Let's move on to the trade period. So we made a play for Mitchell Lewis. Certainly, they certainly are. Definitely. Let's do a deal with. Let's trade with Melbourne. We'll give. I reckon we'll give the Demons. We'll give the Demons Luke Padler, James Borlas, Luke Nankervis. We'll probably give him Borlas, Nankervis. Borlas, Nankervis. But I think Toby Murray in return for pick 3. Traded for Mitchell Lewis. Definitely, they're playing like it's great to see the Eagles are playing like a team again. We'll swap future first to Brisbane for Zach Bailey. See if it gets us back in the premiership race for 2027. Trent Bianco gets a rookie promotion. We've got to get Rankin a new contract for Adelaide. He does. Nine more years for Sid. Worrell also gets a new deal with Adelaide. We'll also re-sign Marsh. This could be also time for Ludovic. Ludovic will also re-sign. And we'll stay at Adelaide. We also gave Keys a new contract until 2030. I reckon that's all our off-season business sorted. And that's the period closed. Now we move on to the draft. And we'll probably use our only pick to get Braxton Love. Anyways, it's a great lead for the Eagles, 39 points over Nord. Now let's move on to the rookie draft. We picked up Alexander Tracy as yet another key forward. Well, we do actually promote Sydney Stack, and we also got Charlie West. I reckon we'll give Isaac Cumming the number 13 jersey at the Crows. Zach Bailey will now wear 33. I think I might give 44 to Stack. But hang on a minute, I might give that to West. Tracy to wear 35. Well, can we actually try again? We get up and try again. We also upgraded the turf. Since we're 3 seasons, since we're already 3 seasons into this challenge. Mitch Lois also now playing up forward. Dawson resumes his captaincy. Why play Neil Bullen as a substitute and put Greenwood in the 4 pockets? And with myself now back at the club as one of the coaches, as the forward coach. Phil Forbes back from injury. Maybe it's time to give Zach Bailey his debut for the club. The bounce back starts with a 50-point win over Essendon. Phil Forbes out injured. We'll have to go back to trusting Curtin up forward. Put Bibble in the midfield. That's a great start to your first 2 games with the Eagles. Anyways, off to round 2, we win by 107 points against Port. In Showdown 61. Not much luck on the injury front. I think it's probably time to chuck the youngster Braxton Love straight into the deep end. Well, he did get off to a good start on debut. Back spasms. Oh dear, Mitchell Lois is out with back spasms. Who's coming to be my replacement? Well, I reckon we'll play Mitch Marsh for this game. We do get the win over GWS. Yes. Well, we got Sydney. Bad news is we got no Rochelle. Probably try a Peddler for this game. We win by 14 points. Murray comes in for Broadwood. I reckon Payne comes in for Love. Coming, Mom. What was that you were saying? Yeah. I'll try to talk about something else in between while talking about football. Will do. Coming, God. through ball for a little bit for the dog. Managed to finish the Coke No Sugar I brought in for you earlier, Mother. Managed to finish off the Coca-Cola No Sugar you brought in earlier. All good, just only asking a question. I've already put the Pepsi in the fridge. In conversation, so I can try to talk about something else in between, Mother. Sorry about that. I was just up to season 3 now. Got it. Go through ball for a bit for the dog. I'll go do that now. We move on to round 6. We're versus Hawthorn. We get it done by 52 points. Let's sim up towards round 10. Even though we finished 10-0. Even though we started the year off 10-0. Oh no. Well, the two best mates are I reckon so, yeah. Definitely the Eagles are in the box seat right now in this game. Hey, Jaden. Anyways, back to the challenge. We move on to the mid-season rookie draft. We're going to have to find another midfielder to replace the retired draft. Maybe we may not need a short-term fix in the midfield. We might actually pick someone for the long term. Although Norda coming back a bit, but it's a great lead for Woodville West Torrens. Anyways, back to the draft. I reckon we'll go with Hugh Trigg. He'll wear the number 39 Guernsey for the Crows. Only a 20-point game. Anyways, for the game against North Melbourne. Sadly, it's all over for our legend. And the Eagles should be able to continue. I might put Curtin back in the midfield and put Lois up forward. We finish off with we got a 43-point win ourselves over North. Murray comes into the side. Yeah, come on, Eagles. Got to get the next goal. Anyways, Crows win by 22 over Sydney. Sim through the month of June. Win. Win. Come on, Eagles. You got to get some goals. Can't just. Nord's been doing all the attacking in this quarter. Let's move on to July. Win. Well, we might have a similar type of season Essendon have in 2000. Jaden Bebble's returned from injury. Let's go through August. Loss. Win. Well, we got the L against Geelong. We finished the year on 88 points. Qualifying final, we got the Lions. We might put Zach Bailey comes into the side. Not feeling Curtin up forward. I'm probably thinking maybe Lewis. That's great to see. Eagles got a goal. We'll We'll also put Rankin in the forward line for the qualifying final. And the Crows are back in business. 48 points over the Lions. Remember the previous... We all remember they lost the preliminary final against North Melbourne the previous year. This time we got Collingwood. Well, Ben Keys is out for the game against the Magpies. We're going to need a prayer. We want to win this prelim. One of our most seasoned veterans we got on the team is retired. Oh no, another prelim loss. This time against Collingwood. Well, this Dynasty challenge has kind of turned into the Dynasty that never almost was. 2 prelim losses in a row. I think we're kind of looking like the Crows of 05 and 06. See ya. I was kind of hoping we would have surpassed them. We only got 20 players under contract. Keys has accepted a contract. Stat gets another chance. How did Ludowite get delisted? I don't get it. Let's hope Marsh re-signs. Still only got 26 players under contract. We got to stop Rankin from leaving somehow. Dowling's re-signed. I reckon Worrell has re-signed. Draper has signed a new contract for the Crows. I reckon we'll let Hinge and Berry walk. Might actually trade Pedler. Don't think there's much more left to do to improve this team. Unless I added some midfield depth. Well, maybe it's probably time to trust the process. Now with Dre gone, maybe it's time to bring back Charlie Edwards. Last quarter, it's Eagles 3-6 to Nord 1-1. We might just swap a future second just to get Edwards and Ryan to come home. Back to the Crows. We actually let St Kilda borrow him for a couple of seasons. Sam Barry's re-signed. I don't think Mitch Hinge is also re-signed. Oh, North 3-6. The Eagles have got the 1-1 in the last quarter. That was a great game from yourself. I think we're going to have to say goodbye to Nick Murray. We traded him to Melbourne just so we can get a currently trusting the process right now. Hell no. Right opponent next round, West Adelaide. They've been a stellar dweller for years. Peatling to Richmond. We're not trading James Peatling. While for that midfield spot, we'll probably need someone to replace Matty Greenwood, as his career is about to hit the final curtain. That's going to be so cool. First game at the Adelaide Oval. Well, since the Matty Greenwood era is officially over, possibly, I think. We'll get Nick Day. We're training for Nick Dacos to be his replacement. I don't think we really need Sam Barry anymore. Or Lachlan McAndrew. As we could be able to get another ruck in the draft. Another one I reckon we'll say goodbye to. Probably Mitch Hinge. Hang on. Probably not him. I'm leaning towards you, Bond. We'll send him to Essendon for a future first-round pick. At least we got some draft pick. At least we got some space available for the upcoming draft. That's going to be so cool. Our first pick is pick number 4. We'll go with Johnson. Next pick is number 14. We're going with MacArthur. What about ruck depth? Well, the best we can hope for was Jonah Healy. I reckon so. They could go 3-0 for the first time since 2020. Now we move on to pick 18. We need to get ourselves another key forward for the future. We're going with Hester. Next pick we got is pick 32. Go with French. So on the rookie draft, we'll go with Braden Briggs and Jack Carroll. I reckon so. I reckon you're pretty much the best player for the Eagles now. Payne will get the 21 Guernsey. Ryan will now get 22. Trying to give Edwards his number 11 back. This one. Year is over. That was a great start to your time at Adelaide Oval. Anyways, let's simulate to the mid-year draft. We're starting off great so far. Great lead so far, 3 goals against Westies. Well, sadly, Wayne Miller has hung up the boots. As well. So we'll get Brody Kemp and Matthew Johnson in the mid-year draft. Well, the wins almost continue until we lose to the Gold Coast Suns. We win the qualifying final. That is a great start. First 4 goals to the game. Anyways, we win the prelim against Port Adelaide. Back in the grand final at last. Versus the Freo Dockers. Who wins the granny? It's us! Well, anyways, that's going to end it all and end this series. Well, we couldn't get the 4 premierships we were hoping for, but we can settle with I'm happy we can settle with 2. We can settle with 2 premierships was better than winning 0.